In all my years of building and leading multiple 7- and 8-figure sales teams, one thing stays true. The single fastest way to increase your income is to master the art of selling. It doesn't matter if you're building a business or climbing the career ladder as a closer. No other skill determines your earning potential more than sales. But here's the catch. Most people think sales is about scripts and persuasion techniques. It's not. It's about the few core skills that once you have them, you can turn any conversation into an opportunity. And if you stick around till the end, I'll teach you how to reach another level of sales. Point number 1 is to own the call or lose the sale. Average people give away control at the very start of the call. The buyer drives you and asks you some questions, you react, and you start defending the price, start just answering back to them whatever they're asking you, instead of creating demand, instead of getting authority on the call. Control the questions to control the sale. Always open with their agenda. Time, purpose, outcome. Tell them exactly what they're going to get out of this call. Make sure it's worth it to them to listen to your questions. Use curiosity to drive the discovery, not just defensive answers. Guide them on where the conversation goes and don't let them steer. But control doesn't mean talking non-stop. In fact, the skill is completely flipped on its head for point number 2, which is to shut up and sell. 80% of the talking should be done by the prospect, not you. You can see this on a study where we can see on AI recorders on the salespeople that are the most successful, they've only spoken 20% of the time. If you're doing 80% of the talking, you're not doing the selling, you're performing. Talk less and close more. Layer your questions with problems. Find the emotion. Mirror and label them on what they say so they feel deeply heard. Use silence. Don't rush to fill it. Even great conversations won't turn into new revenue if you talk too much. And that's the next skill that you need to master in sales so you don't lose the deals, which is about follow-ups and deals. Most reps quit after 1 or 2 touch points. They assume silence means no. In reality, 50% of the sales are actually closed in the follow-up. You have to be deep in the follow-up, 7, 8, 9 attempts, and whatever it takes. Deals die when follow-ups stop. You want to plan a multi-touch cadence approach. Calls, emails, text, Instagram likes, whatever it is that your name keeps popping up. And each time you message them, you share a different message. Sometimes it's a case study, sometimes it's checking on how they're doing. To follow up properly, you need visibility on every deal. And most people don't have it. That's the next skill that you need to become an elite salesperson, which is to make data-driven decisions. The difference between good and elite salespeople is elite salespeople use their pipeline, use their CRM, do their tracking. Just good salespeople think it's just about the sales call. If you just stop when the conversation stops, you're only going to make so many sales. But if you're great with data, you're great with your CRM, you're going to always find those sales reps will outperform the average sales rep. What gets measured gets managed, and what gets managed gets closed. You want to live in your CRM. Every note is logged. Every time you've texted them, every time you've called them, you want to take a second and log it. If you track all of these key metrics, how many weekly contacts you've made, how many meetings you've had, how many proposals you've had, how many closes you've had, you're going to be able to spot the bottlenecks early, and you'll be able to stop and adjust at the right time. And even with the perfect system, there's one mindset that protects your performance when everything else goes wrong, and that's to be cool under pressure. I'm a big fan of Marcus Aurelius and philosophy. One of my favorite books is Meditations. One of the best lessons for salespeople is to just not be emotionally tied to the sale, to not allow yourself to want it so badly. There's a term in sales which I love, which is called commission breath. Everyone can sense how badly you want the deal. Your power as a closer comes from composure, not emotion. So if you can truly master your emotions, you'll master sales. Focus on the process, not approval. You want to have some sort of reset ritual every time you've been told yes, every time you've been told no, because your emotions should be staying the same every single time. You want to detach yourself from the outcome and conduct the same tonality, the same language each time, and that'll only come when you become an expert of managing your own emotions. A great term in sales is all about emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is defined by how well you understand your emotions, but also how you can change your behavior to react to the emotions of the person you're speaking to. So if you can't change the way you're speaking as you read the other person in front of you when they're looking slightly stressed, happy, relaxed, you should be able to change your tone. You should be like a wave. being able to change the way you speak. If you only speak one way all the time, you're a robot and people will sense that you've not got a human touch. To be truly empathetic to people. And if you're currently a sales rep ready to become a sales manager, but you're not sure where to start, there's a free guide on the mindset shift from going from a sales rep to a sales manager. If you look below in the description, there's a free community you can join and start consuming the training and learn the next steps on how you can become a sales rep to a sales manager. We've placed over 50 closers into sales management roles in the last few months because they took that step and they leveled up their learning. If this video has been useful to you, comment below on the most useful point that you found in this video and how you're going to change your behavior in the future based upon the things I've said, so we know that you're going to implement them and then you're held accountable of doing so. A plan written is a plan done. I'll catch you in the next video.